Alrighty, everybody, here we go. It is 11:59. We are finally starting. We have a very simple little tier list layout here. We've got our S tier. These are the best options. We've got our A tier, second best, B tier, third, C, fourth, D, pretty shit, F, very, 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 very bad. Pretty self-explanatory. We've done these a couple times before. It's gonna work just like that. We have all 93 something weapons in Northwind. There's been maybe 20 of them added since I did my last tier list, so we have those to work off of, but otherwise it'll be just about the same as the last one, only with way more fucking bullshit because weapon bloat is real. I may not be Jewish, but weapon bloat is real, so we have a fuck ton to cover. We will start with our beauty, the what is it called? Ritual Spear. The Ritual Spear. This cutie. It's the worst of the native melees. It is doing... Let me check its stats. Ritual Spear. I wrote it down for y'all. Ritual Spear. It has 5 swings. It's pretty slow. It does 30 damage, and you can throw it for 50 damage. So, it's got good reach, because it's a spear, but it's definitely a D-tier weapon. Definitely. Then we have the Wendigo event Special Halberd, the quirky halberd, which was a special weapon that was only available during the Halloween Wendigo event last year. And it also came out with this guy all the way down here, this special crossbow. These two are effectively reskins of, I believe, the broadaxe and the crossbow respectively, which makes it just an axe. Axes are exactly what you'd expect. I'd probably put axes into B tier because they all kind of do the same thing. I was more granular with my axes last time, but honestly, they all kind of do the same thing. So my axe is just going to probably go B tier. Because I guess I'll get the axe speech out of the way. The thing with axes is they're very good in like a PR setting, in a raid setting, in a setting where someone's not going to try and block you. They get considerably worse in a 1v1. Okay, a setting in which someone can take the time to block you. Now you can get around it by turtling and crouching the whole time and doing all your little axe strats, but axes are very much hurt by this fact that they are fundamentally not dueling weapons. They are good though, they're very good, especially in group settings. They're very good, they're one of the best group setting melees, second only to like Masterworks, which is why the Masterworks is kind of just a better axe. Now we've got the Tribal Spear. I'd probably put that in B tier. I really like tribal spears. They are probably the best of the tribal weapons, like, period, because they're the decent tribal spear. They get 4 swings. They're still pretty slow, but they are doing 35 damage, which is a 3-hit kill, and that is pretty big. And it's doing 55 when you throw it. So yeah, not bad at all. We've also got the Tribal Tomahawk, which gets 4 swings. It's pretty fast. It does do 35 damage, and it does 75 thrown, so I'd probably put it here. Tribal Tomahawks are surprisingly good now. We've got the stupid Tribal Pike, the weird one. It's very fucking slow. It's very fucking slow. It gets 3 swings. I'd maybe put it here. It's like the slowest speed possible, but it does do 80 fucking damage. And it does do 90 damage when you throw it, and it does have knockback, which knocks you back a couple studs, which can push you off ledges or, like, destabilize you or kind of annoy you. I think it sticks in the body, which can help a bit like arrows. It'll fuck with your sprint speed and stuff. So, solidly C tier. It's kind of just like a great axe, but for natives. Actually, it's literally a great axe for natives, less damage. So, if you want to try it, you do get a decent amount of swings with it. It's kind of just a more predictable axe, in a way. Then we got the bayonet. Bayonets have always been okay. They're kind of like axes, in my opinion, I should say, because they're doing 50 damage. They are a 2-hit kill, but they're very predictable, and they're very easy to block, even easier to block than axes. All you do is block left, and you'll stop any bayonet user instantly. So they're not amazing. Again, they're better in group fights, but if you're in a group fight, just use an axe. So Bayonet's probably going to sit in C tier. You can do some damage with it. Although, I might I might put it in D tier, actually, because it's got the damage of an axe, because it's doing a 2-hit kill, but nothing else, really. Maybe we'll keep it there for now. Here we've got, I think, a gobbler gun. Is this a gobbler gun? This, I believe, let me make sure here on my second monitor. I'm going to zoom in on this bad boy. That is a gobbler gun. This is the best blunderbuss. If you ever get a gobbler gun, these are very, very, very good. They are the old Thanksgiving exclusive from last year. It is a 4-shot blunderbuss with a tighter spread. It will kill you. It will one-tap you. They are so damn good. I strongly recommend the gobbler gun, okay? This is a better blunderbuss. If you have one, insure that fucker. These are expensive to insure. They have a long blunderbuss reload. Actually, it's not that long. Hold on, let me check the reload. But these are so good. The gobbler gun actually has a very short reload. It's only about 9.75 seconds, which is about on par with every musket. So 30 damage per lead ball, shoots 4, it's 120 to the body. So you have to hit all 4 lead balls, but that's not hard to do. This thing has a pretty tight grouping compared to the regular blunderbuss. Then we've got our boy, the stone spear. What are my stone spear stats? Let's find out. Stone spear. 4 swings, middling speed, 35 damage. It's not bad. I'd probably put it about here. It's got nice reach. But the problem with all polearms is they're very predictable, because you can see where the swing is coming from a mile away, which makes them very easy to block. Tribal hatchet, less predictable, because it's fucking tiny. Stone spear, you can see the big thing swinging overhead, you know where it's coming from. So, it's going in B tier. Still not bad, though. Now we have the 3-barrel duckfoot. I'll put the 4 one. The 3 and 4-barrel duckfoot. These are treasure weapons. You get these from chests if you're lucky. They're cool. I think they also come from fort chests. The problem with any good secondary weapon is you're incentivized to ensure a secondary, which you never want to do because the primary will always be better. Okay? You never want to ensure a secondary because primaries do the job of a secondary better than the primary. Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I need to explain this better. When you have primaries, there are good and bad primaries. When you have secondaries, there are good and bad secondaries. The best secondaries don't do their job as well as the best primaries, and you can only insure one of them, unless you have an insurance token, which are a waste of time. So, if you insure one, you'd insure a gobbler gun, or a Dopplet, or a Jazelle. You wouldn't insure one of these fucking duckfoot pistols, because you're wasting your primary then, because that's going to get looted. If you have a primary, you hold like a Charlie or something. Because, think of it this way. If you have a gobbler gun and like a Prussian cavalry pistol, which are very easy to get, if you have those two, okay, your main gun is doing 120 to the body, 144 to the head, and your secondary is doing 60 to the body, 72 to the head, okay? That's a lot of DPS. If you have like a Charlie or a disposable primary like a Charlie, and you have a duckfoot, you might be doing what's the duckfoot's the 4-barrel duckfoot? What's that's damage? I just typed suckfoot. Sorry about that, chat. That was not intentional. So the 4-barrel duckfoot is doing 112 to the body, which is not as good as the 120 on this one, which is, by the way, the weakest of the blunderbusses. So it's doing 112. I say weakest in terms of damage. It's the best blunderbuss, though. But, yeah, sorry. 4-barrel duckfoot, 112 to the body, and the Charlie's doing 60 to the head. And keep in mind, the 4-barrel duckfoot is like 13 seconds to reload, and this one's only 9 seconds to reload. And so you could go shit primary, good secondary, and have a worse secondary than a good primary, shit secondary, where you have a better primary. So there's just mathematically never any reason to take a duckfoot pistol, because you're gimping your primary to have a good secondary, which there's no reason to do that when the primaries are better than the secondaries at their peak. So duckfoot pistol and other duckfoot pistol, they're good for what they are. This one does like 80-something, 88 damage according to my stats here, 84. And this one does 112. So this will one-tap, this will not one-tap. Now, keep in mind, everything I say here falls apart on Bayevil. If you're on Bayevil, use a one-tap primary and a one-tap secondary, okay? If you're off Bayevil, I don't know why you'd ever use this. So, I'm torn with these two duckfoot pistols, because they're not bad, they're good pistols, but you'd never, ever, ever use a good pistol unless you're on an island with no looting. Because you can insure one weapon, and there's no reason to insure a pistol when you can insure a primary. So, Fuck. Because the problem is they're S tier if you're on a good island. So I guess I'll do... Maybe I'll do this. Assuming you're on Bayable, this is your loadout. Assuming you're anywhere else, this is your loadout. I don't know. I don't want to put them in the middle because the middle is going to get huge very quickly. Maybe that. Because this is doing 84, which is still quite good. And then if any of them hit the head, you know, very good. These do have ridiculous spread, by the way. You'll have to be right next to someone, even closer than the Gobbler Gun Blunderbuss. So just keep that in mind. I think I'll do this with them, because in isolation, they're very good. You just never would ever run one. So that's the sort of bullshit caveat of those things. Then we've got our lovely little stone hatchet. Let me check the stone hatchet stats real quick. About 5-ish swings. It's pretty fast. 30 damage, 70 thrown. It's like Old Tomahawk. It also has the hitbox problems of Old Tomahawk. So it's going to go here. It's a little worse than the other better Tomahawk, I'll be honest with you. And we have the Colonist Tomahawk. 4 swings, pretty fast, 35 damage. It's going to go up here. It has shit hitbox problems, as all Tomahawks do, but otherwise still a pretty solid dependable weapon. And as we know, crazy 75 damage when you throw it. And it has probably the most accurate throw profile of any weapon in the game. So maybe top of B tier, I would say. I think this is our axe and tomahawk tier, pretty much. Because, yeah, axe is all going to go B tier. Maybe the good axes go A tier. And then tomahawk, I'd put it probably B tier, because it has a terrible hitbox, which holds it back. But everything else on it is phenomenal. Although, I'd like it to have more fucking swings, I'll be honest. I'd like it to have more swings. That could be nice. We have the tribal tomahawk. It's basically a reskin of the tomahawk, or a reskin of the hatchet. Sorry, that's the tribal hatchet. The tribal hatchet. That's identical to the stone hatchet, so I was going to go there. These both actually get thrown for 70 damage, which is quite nice. We have the bonk stick. It's kind of shit. Maybe down here, honestly. It's called the tribal club. 4.75-ish swings. Fast speed, 35 damage. It's not horrible. I guess we'll put it here. It can actually ragdoll you, if you didn't know. Bonk sticks are quite nice for that. And it has knockback. You know what, actually? Given the fact that it is a 3-hit kill, I think we'll put it up here. It's a 3-hit kill. That's pretty fucking solid. Yeah, we'll put it up here. We'll put it up here, I think. Yeah, we'll definitely put it up here. For those of you in chat talking about insurance tokens, we are completely ignoring insurance tokens because the average player will not be running insurance tokens. They are obnoxious as hell. And if you do run insurance tokens, it's basically the equivalent of, like, pretend you're unbayable. What would you run unbayable? And that's the answer. But no, for the mass majority of people, insurance tokens just don't matter. So we're not going to be concerning insurance tokens in our list. And now we have the, like, derpy pike. The stupid... It's not the great pike, it is the boarding pike. It's slow as shit. It's kind of just the Kahlo version of the tribal pike. It is slow as hell, 2.75 swings, 80 damage. It has knockback, which is kind of nice, just like the other crazy tribal pike, which is kind of cool. I like the knockback on these. But again, you wouldn't bring these to a serious fight, and they telegraph like crazy, even worse than the axes. Broadaxe, I'd probably put A tier. It's probably my favorite axe if I had to choose. They're all kind of the same. Axes all kind of do the same thing. Broadaxe gets 3 swings, which is nice. It's a little better for that. That one thing. But honestly, they're all kind of the same. I don't know if it really matters. We can kind of just get the axes out of the way, because they all kind of do the same thing. Basically, all of them get 3 swings even. They're all the same speed, and they're either doing 50 damage, 55 damage, 60 damage, or 65 damage. Yeah, they all kind of do. Let's just get all the axes out of the way. They all kind of do the exact same thing. Even the weird axes. There's new axes that might be slightly better, but I don't think there will be, if I'm being honest. Because I don't know much about the new axes. I've not tried them out. They're the master axes. The problem is you'd have to insure one if you brought into combat, and there's, like, literally no reason you'd ever insure an axe. So I think we're going to put these in D tier. It's like a shit Masterwork. You know, Masterwork, you actually have an argument to insure, because it's a very efficient weapon. These, no. Fuck no. These are worse Masterworks. There's no reason to ever use one of those. They're just pretty, and they're nothing else. Great Axe, I'd probably put in A tier, because it's the Great Axe. 95 damage is no fucking joke. And that's the only thing it has going for it, but that's enough, especially in PRs. Any other axes? Are we missing any axes? I don't think so. We could get our shepherd's cross out of the way eventually, too. But yeah, this is how I'd rank my axes. They're all kind of the exact same thing, if I'm being honest with you. Even the Tribal War Axe. They all do somewhere between 55 and 65 damage. The only one that isn't in this category is going to be the wonderful Great Axe. The Great Axe, his only claim to fame, is 95 damage, which, if you don't know, will bleed out a player in 10 seconds with an average tick rate. Hello, hello, new players. Hello, newcomers. Hello, people in chat. Hi. With Riz. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the chat. We are going through our rankings and explaining why things are the way they are. Great Axe is probably the best axe for PRs. Keep in mind, you have 2 swings with it. You will run out of all of stamina immediately with the Great Axe. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All of these other axes are going here because I don't like axes. They're only really good for PvP outside safe zone. They're okay in duels once you know how to use them and know how to trick people and know how to feint. Until then, I would probably keep them in B tier. We have a stone spear. Adorable. 4 swings, middling speed, 35 damage. I mean, they telegraph. 50 damage thrown. I don't know. Oh, sorry, this is a long spear. 30 damage. It's a little worse than a stone spear, I'll be honest with you, because it is doing 30 damage, and you get 5 swings, but it's only middling speed, and it does 50 thrown, so it's just kind of meh. A tier, Cutlass, easily. We'll put the Saber up here too. Cutlass and Saber, probably. Cutlass maybe here, because Saber does more damage than Cutlass, and they're otherwise the same, which is quite nice. Let's talk about Saber and Cutlass. Well, do we... Because, okay. The Saber and the Cutlass, statistically, aren't very good compared to any of the treasure swords. But the Saber and the Cutlass are very replaceable compared to the treasure swords. And so, treasure swords, I would say, have a better rating, but the Saber and Cutlass are so meh. I don't know. You know what? I think we aren't going to rate... I think we aren't going to rate based on how easy they are to acquire. For the most part. We'll just rate based on raw stats and raw power. I think that's what we'll do. Because Sabers and Cutlasses are both pretty good. They don't hold a candle to any of the treasure weapons, the good treasure swords. Specifically, the Falchion blows them both out of the water. But... the problem is there's a lot of very good swords right now. The Dragoon Sword and the Falchion are both ridiculously good, and they're both hand over fist better than the Saber. I don't know, this is hard. Because do I want to put the Cutlass in C tier? Not really. Maybe Saber and Cutlass both in B tier? I think we'll keep the Saber where it is. No, because the Dragoon Sword could bleed people out. Saber and Cutlass are going to go down here, I think. Yeah, if we weren't counting ease of access, I'd probably put Saber up here. But we are counting kind of ease of access, I think, because I think weapons should get points off if they're obnoxiously hard to acquire, but also they're really good. So, no, let's not. Let's just... Okay, I'm going to make a note now. We will not take points off if a weapon is absurdly hard to acquire, unless it's like kind of the hallmark of the weapon, and it doesn't have anything else to make up for it. Like, there's a lot of weapons that are very hard to get, and for no reason. The dog shit, like the Shepherd's Cross. That's not the Shepherd's Cross, the other one. I don't even have a picture of the Shepherd's Cross here. But, like, there are some weapons that are hard to get for no reason. But I think we'll both put them... it's hard. I don't know. It's hard because there are so many better swords than these two, but these two are such staples that it's hard. I'm not sure. I think we'll keep this for now. We'll see how it goes. I might change this around. Because keep in mind, S and A tier are the weapons you should be using, or are just really good. We have a sharp pistol. C tier, there are much better pistols now. We have a reed rifle. Oof, the reed is doing okay right now. It's kind of the go-to sniper. If you don't have like a Kent, Kentucky Milton rifle, whatever you call it, if you don't have a Whitworth, which no one really uses, if you don't have a I moved my Jazelle. Sorry, if you don't have a Jazelle, a lot of people use the Reed. The Reed is pretty good. It's got a 15-second reload, 75 damage, 90 head. All the rifles now have very long reloads, longer than the Blunders, which will count against them. But I'd still probably put the Reed up here because it is very accurate. It's a very good long-range gun. So I'd probably put it up here, I think. Yeah, I think I'd put it up here. I want to find... Real quick, I want to find my Dragoon Sword, because I want to do that one next before this, because the Dragoon Sword is kind of this. So Dragoon Sword is an easy A tier. Dragoon Sword's probably the best... Actually, Dragoon Sword's S tier, because this weapon, I am actually going to do how easy it is to get a hold of. Yeah, this weapon is absurdly fucking cracked. It's not as good as the Falchion, which I'll probably also put up here right now, just so I don't forget. Where is my Falchion? Honey, what? Where's my Falchion? What? Where is my Falchion? Why do you need to know? Just tell me where my Falchion is, woman. We're talking about the greater good. Greater good. I'm your wife. I'm the greatest good you ever gonna get. So, it's going up here, because I love the Falchion, and it's fucking crazy right now. These two are going S tier. Dragoon Sword and Falchion. I'll explain why. Bop. Actually, I don't want to forget. Sorry. So, the Dragoon Sword is fucking cracked right now. It is the easiest... Okay. I know how I'll do this. So the Dragoon Sword, it gets 5 swings. It is faster than most swords, and it's doing 45 damage. Which is enough in a duel to bleed someone out in like 20-ish seconds of dueling if you hit them twice. And so if you use this in a duel, it's effectively to a kill if you can make the duel last long enough. But more importantly, Dragoon Swords, 5 swings, which is better than most of the swords, except like the Fire Poke and like Scimitar and Rapier, and those are OP and not what we're talking about yet. So very, very, very strong stamina profile, very strong melee profile because 45 damage. It is a little bit more predictable than the other swords because it's got the stab and the slash attack, which you telegraph with very easily. So if you get faster with it, it won't matter that much. But just saying, Saber is less predictable than the Dragoon Sword. But otherwise, it's easy to get a hold of. Not as easy as Saber, but still very easy to get a hold of, and so I would easily put this S tier. The Falchion is kind of just a better Dragoon Sword with Saber animations. The Falchion gets 4.5 swings, so a little worse than Dragoon, but not by much. It's as fast as the Dragoon, and it also does 45 damage. This one is very, very good. It is a less predictable Dragoon Sword. Dragoon Sword more predictable, but a little more stamina. Falchion less predictable, less stamina. So it's awesome. Falchion's great, Dragoon Sword's great. They're both fast as shit. Both of these are like preeminent dueling weapons if you can get either of them. If you are going outside safe zone and you have the money or time, I would recommend making a bunch of Dragoon Swords. This is what I'd personally run outside safe zone if I didn't have my fucking Rapier. If I didn't have my Rapier, I would absolutely run this. And for dueling, I would absolutely run this. These are the 2 weapons I would run if I didn't have my Rapier. They don't do the damage of a Masterwork, but I don't care because they have double the stamina of a Masterwork, and they will destroy any Masterwork user that doesn't know what they're doing. So these 2 are fucking cracked. I would strongly recommend Falchions for dueling or for medieval combat, and I would strongly recommend Dragoon Swords for anything outside of safe zone. They are very, very good dueling weapons and very, very good melee weapons for just normal melee combat. So that's what I would recommend. And then we have our backsword. Where is my backsword? So backswords are actually also fucking cracked. I didn't realize, oh my god, backswords are better than I remember them being looking at these stats. Yeah, holy shit. Backswords are amazing. Okay, so then we have backswords. These get like 5.75, almost 6 swings, okay? Which is unheard of. It's the most of any sword. Very fast. Not as fast as these 2, but still very fast. And they are doing 45 damage, just like the Falchion. Backswords are OP as hell, okay? The difference is they are slower, and they have a worse hitbox than these 2. The Falchion has kind of a normal hitbox. The backsword has a shortened hitbox, and the Dragoon Sword has a longer hitbox. So keep that in mind. This is a tiny hitbox. It's almost like using a tomahawk, which is why I might actually put it in A tier instead. It does get 6 swings. It does do 45 damage. No, we'll keep it here. It is a very, very stamina efficient weapon. Probably the most stamina efficient sword in game. It gets the same amount of swings as knives, if that makes any sense. If that helps at all. It's kind of a reskin knife with a little longer range that can block. It's so nice. So, if any of you get good at dueling, I would strongly recommend a backsword as well. These are very much the dueling swords now. Treasure swords are dueling swords right now, through and through. They are awesome. Treasure weapons in general are very powerful right now if you can get a hold of them. So, something to keep in mind. Next we have the Santa sword. Gets 4.25 swings-ish. It's kind of like a weaker dragoon. I'd probably put it on par with the saber because it's got dragoon animations. Yeah, 4.25 swings, faster speed, 45 damage. So it is one of the faster weapons. This is one of the fast swords because there's fast swords, there's faster swords. This are faster. This are fast. So yeah, these three I'd recommend if you want something fast. The Santa sword is kind of just a saber with dragoon animations. Although it also does have it's kind of just a dragoon sword with less stamina, which is not amazing. So I'd put it here in A tier. It's good though. It is pretty good. It is pretty good, surprisingly, all things considered. So, you know. Food for thought. Oh, Dopplet. You know what? The Dopplet seems to have a resurgence. I dropped my Dopplet after it stopped doing 100 damage to the body. This is technically speaking... The Dopplet and Jazelle are on par as the highest damage primary without being a blunderbuss, but the Dopplet is kind of a blunderbuss. I'd put an S tier, because the Dopplet has a pretty fast reload. So I think if you're running a Dopplet, you're ensuring it. So I'd put Dopplet handily in S tier. It's still quite good. Not as good as it once was, when it could one-tap to the body, but it's still quite good. It's got a pretty tight spread, so I'd put it up there. Crossbow, good hunting weapon. I'd put it easily A tier. When you have a PR, and you have the pop, and the pop finishes, crossbows rule the PR. Crossbows are very, very good. They were so good that back when I was raiding with Moon Company, we would run crossbows, and we'd fire a pop, and then swap to crossbows, and then just win, like, everything, because crossbows are so fucking good. And they are, like, the dominant CQC weapon in a lot of ways. They are, like, the mid to close range weapon that carbines are supposed to be, but carbines still have too long of a reload. Crossbows are, like, a 4.5 second reload. Carbines are still, like, 7.758 seconds, which is just too long. So, hopefully, they lower crossbow reload to, like... No, they lower carbine reload to, like, 6 seconds. Or 5 seconds. Carbine should have, like, unnaturally short reloads, I think. But, yeah. So, overall, the only bow I'd ever recommend taking into combat is a crossbow. They are not as good as the guns, because they keep you out of cover and they're kind of obnoxious because you have no choice. When you load it, you immediately load it right after you shoot, which is kind of annoying unless you put it away. So they're kind of annoying in that regard. They're not as versatile as every gun in the game, but, you know, they exist. So I would recommend them because they're good for hunting and they're also good for combat. Bolts are kind of harder to make than arrows, though, and harder to acquire than arrows, so keep that in mind. They require a special bolt and a special larger quiver for those, so just keep that in mind. They have a special bolt quiver. But overall, crossbows are pretty good. And then when it comes to hunting, keep in mind the bolts are tiny and they'll fall through the map more than arrows. So longbows are better than crossbows for hunting. But nothing else, by the way. Only in hunting. Crossbows beat longbows everywhere else. So that's that motherfucker. Then we've got the War Axe. No. Is that the War Axe? That is the War Axe, right? Hold on. Let me figure out. That is a War Axe, is it not? Yes, the War Axe. These are pretty solid. Probably put it in A tier. Because it's got 5 swings. It's fast, so it's the same speed as a saber. Does 40 damage. 80 thrown. So it's kind of just a saber. With 1 more swing. So maybe right there. Maybe back a bit. Because it still has the Tomahawk hitbox, which is dog shit. The one thing that always holds back Tomahawks is their hitbox is dog shit. So keep that in mind. I'd probably put it here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Wendigo Claws. Bap. That was easy. Window claws are dog shit. They have the worst hitbox in game. They have terrible reach, even worse than like a tomahawk. Yeah, they have 4 swings. Their speed is kind of crap. They do 45, which is nice, 45 damage. So it's a 2-hit kill. Sorry, 3-hit kill. But meh. I don't know why you'd ever run them. They're kind of cute though. They come from last year's Halloween event. We've also got whatever the fuck this is. I'll be honest, I don't know what this is. I don't know. This is a special pistol you get from something. But we're just going to put the pistol I don't understand in there. Thunder pistol, let's check if it can one-tap. If it can one-tap, it's going up in S tier. Let's check. Thunder pistol. There's no way. Do I not have a category for the thunder pistol? No, I have a category for the thunder pistol. Where's my thunder pistol? 90 to the body. Oh, fuck. 90 to the body. Goes there. Yeah, thunder pistol. It's better than the 3 duckfoot, but not as good as the 4 duckfoot. This one's doing 84 to the body. This one does 90 to the body. This one does 112 to the body. So 4 duckfoot wins that one. Labrie's axe. I kind of like the Labrie's axe. Where is the Labrie's axe? Oh, sorry. Thunder pistol goes behind this one, because this one only has, sorry. This is a 12-second, 12-second, 16-second. So this one has not caught up to the blunders. The blunders are now fast to reload again, so this is like a 10-second reload. This is like a 9-second reload. This is 16. That makes no sense, so that goes back there. Labrie's axe. Wait, why can't I search? Why can't I search my little weapon database? There's my Labrie's axe. 4 swings. It's faster than the war axe. Does 45 damage. I mean, I'd probably put in the same camp, because right now treasure weapons are just very good. I'd put in the same camp, I'd say. And now we have a Charlie. That looks like a Charlie. Charlie goes solid A tier. 60 damage. It's what you'd expect. Is that a second one? No, that's a Charlie carbine. Nope. Charlie carbine goes D tier. Don't know why you're doing a Charlie carbine. It's just a bad Charlie. It's a Charlie that can't mount a bayonet. But yeah, the Charlie, the regular Charlie, it is doing... yeah, 8.75 second reload, 60 damage, 78 to the head. So very solid. The regular Charlie's pretty solid. It's very easy to get. Everyone loves the Charlie. It's going to go A tier. Masterwork, we all know, is a S tier weapon. The Masterwork at the end of the day is it's basically the axe user's sword. The Masterwork is the worst of the swords if you're trying to be a sword. What's so cool about the Masterwork is it has axe user damage, and so it's a 2-hit kill. Okay, that's the important breakpoint, because the Masterwork is clunky compared to other swords and predictable compared to other swords, but it doesn't matter because you're in a PR. You're in an outside of safe zone raid environment, in which case you absolutely don't care that your sword isn't very finesse heavy, you just want it to kill people fast. And that's what the Masterwork is for killing people fast outside safe zone. So I'd put the Masterwork in S tier still, because it's the better axe. If you want an axe, get a Masterwork, I'll put it that way. And then we have... what looks to be a Whitney carbine. That goes D. The regular blunderbuss, A tier. You know what? You love it. It's the regular blunderbuss. Whitney carbine, by the way, I should just touch on carbines. They're all about 8 seconds to reload. Or the Brown Bess carbine, sorry. It's called that, not the Whitney anymore. 50 damage. You know, it's shit. It's a worse version of a musket. They all have about the same reload. So, yeah, they sit there. They sit there. To quibble in chat asking where I get my weapon data, I have a little database right here. It's in chat now. It's literally just testing. I have an alt that I store all these weapons on. I get on, I test the weapon, and now I know the stats of it. That's the little database. If you want to read along and check out the stats yourself, it is in chat. And that is our Charlie. Where was I? The weird staff of weirdness that I wasted peach dye on for no reason. Where's my weird staff? It's the bonk staff. It's weird. It bonks. Where is it? Yeah, the Good Shepherd's staff. 4.5 swings, fast, 25 damage, bonk. Bleh. It's kind of shit. I don't know what I'd do with it, but it's there. So it's going down a D tier. It's usable. I don't know why you'd use it, though. Actually, no. Down an F, because it does 25 damage, which is the lowest of any damage we've seen in the game. So that's going there. And now my Lovely Great Pike. Oh, how far you've fallen. Great Pike used to have 6 swings and like do 40 damage. It was crazy. It's 4 swings, fast speed, 35 damage. Meh. It's just kind of a worse cutlass. It's just a cutlass now. I don't know. It's kind of Yeah, it's a worse cutlass. I'd probably put in C tier actually. It's just It's aggressively I'm thoroughly whelmed by that thing. Now we have the Whitney musket. It's literally a Charlie. Whitney Blunderbusses musket, whatever you want to call it. It's literally a Charlie. I'll put it like that so they're next to each other. Yeah, it's a Blunderbusses musket. It's a Whitney musket. It's what you get when you loot HBC. I believe they do the exact same damage with the exact same stats. Yep, same damage, same stats. 8.75 second reload, 60 damage. Nothing crazy about those. They can mount a bayonet, but otherwise they're identical. Calvet. Carbine. We'll put in C tier because it's better than the other two, but not by much. The Calvet is doing 7.75 second reload, 55 damage, so not as good as any of the muskets, but, you know, it's a little better. Again, it can't mount a bayonet, so probably still down here. Carbines, I'm not going to be as nice to them as I used to be. Prussian Cav Pistol. You know what? You love it. Everyone loves Prussian Cav Pistol. It's the best pistol. Because you can mass produce the fucking thing. Let me find my Prussian Cav Pistol. Yeah, it's the Holstein Prussian Cavalry Pistol, whatever you want to call it. 10.5 second reload, 65 damage, 78 to the head. It is the best pistol, hands down. It goes in S tier easily. It is just basically what every single human being on planet Earth uses once you can afford a pistol beyond a sharp pistol. So, upgrade to a Prussian Cavalry Pistol when you get a chance. I would strongly recommend that. Next, we have the Springfield. Hang on, let me find it. The Springfield, the Cluck Musket, whatever you want to call it, 9.75 second reload, so about a second longer than a Charlie. 70 damage, so it's a little bit better of a Charlie. I'd probably put an A tier as well. If you're running it, you're insuring it, obviously. It's quite good. I don't know, it's not as much of a standout, but it's still 70 damage is very solid. It's not as accurate as some of these, like, it's no rifle, but it's very solid. It would probably be the musket I ran if I had to pick a musket and I didn't have like a Whitworth. Because it's got a reload that's like half of the Whitworth's. It's only about 9.75 seconds to reload this thing, whereas a Whitworth is 17 seconds. So I think if I didn't run a Whitworth, I'd probably run a Springfield as my musket of choice. They're very good. They're just better Charlies. It's a direct upgrade from the Charlie. The Tradesman, actually, I take it back. I'd run a goddamn Tradesman musket. I am wrong. The Tradesman musket is better than the Springfield by a tiny bit because it's fucking accurate. I love the Tradesman. It is historically incredibly easy to insure because it's cheap as all hell. It's very accurate and very reliable. I would recommend running a Tradesman if you can get it. That's a treasure weapon. If you can't get a Tradesman, run a Springfield. Keep in mind if you have a Jazelle, run that, obviously. But if you don't have one of those two, run a Tradesman. And if you don't have that, run a Springfield. And if you don't have that, run like a Charlie. If you want to run muskets, I should say. But yeah, the Tradesman is a better version of the Springfield because it's more accurate, otherwise unchanged. And the Springfield is a better version of the Charlie. Down here we have the fucking Jaeger rifle. Jaeger rifles are kind of shit now. They're okay. It's a faster loading Kentucky rifle right now, which, you know, that's worth something, so we'll put it here, and Kentucky down here, because Kentucky rifles, Milton rifles, 15-second reload, 70 damage. Whereas the Jaeger rifle, 12-second reload, 70 damage. That's just better. So I think I'll put the Kentucky, actually, yeah, B tier is fair for the Kentucky, because it's just kind of shit right now. The Jaeger rifle, which is a den unlock, I think a tier 2 den unlock is just a better Kentucky. It's like a shorter Kentucky. I believe the Jaeger is less accurate than the Kentucky, but it does only reload in 12 seconds, which is what you want if you're fighting. To be fair, though, there's no reason to because, again, the Tradesman exists. So I think we'll put the Tradesman S tier, because it's the best musket. If you want to run a blunder, the best blunder is the Gobbler. If you want to run a musket, the best musket is the Tradesman. If you want to run a sword, Dragoon Sword and the Masterwork are what I'd recommend. Masterwork for axe users, Dragoon Sword for sword users. These three are just good. Prussian Cav is the best pistol. So, This is probably my loadout up here, like what I recommend. Jazelle. Let's talk about Jazelles. Let's find my Jazelle. Where is my Jazelle hiding? Jazelles are crazy right now. So Jazelle has a 22.5 second reload. That is the longest reload in the game, period. Does 82 to the body, 98 to the head. Now, because it does 98 to the head, and bandaging takes 5 seconds, and you bleed out in 4 seconds with 98 damage to the head, technically speaking, the Jazelle is a one-tap. It will not blow your head up, but it will bleed you out immediately. So that's something to keep in mind. It's kind of cool. If you can survive that 22-second reload. Jazelles are snipers through and through, but they're not as accurate as the actual snipers. Like a Reed, a Whitworth, the new snipers, will absolutely be more accurate than a Jazelle, so they're going in A tier, I think. Because as cool as Jazelles are, again, 22-second reload, that's almost half a minute. That's fucking insane. You will die, okay? You can reload 2 weapons in the time it takes to reload 1 Jazelle. It's crazy. So keep that in mind. You can also speed up your reload if you have a cup of coffee. So keep that in mind as well. Yeah, Jazelle goes there. I don't really know if I'd ever run one again. They're just kind of meh right now. They can one-shot, headshot, kind of. They'll bleed you out, but food for thought with the Jazelle. It is not what it used to be. It can't one-shot, headshot anymore. So, yeah, you know, food for thought, I guess. I personally don't like them that much right now. They're just kind of middling. What do we got next? Oh, knives! Oh, that was really easy. Okay, let's just, like, get, like, a bunch of these out of here real quick. Okay. Any other knives we're missing? Oh, no, sorry. There. No. Let's be realistic. Yeah. I'd do that. And then maybe these here, because these are all the same. Do I have... Okay, that's a Tane. I'd probably put these in D tier. They have shit animations. I want to get all the knives out of the way first. A bunch of these I fucking hate. I think that's most of our knives. No, throwing knives. Well, that was easy. No. Throwing knives are A tier, I think. I just want all the knives out of the way because I hate knives. I want to do them all at once. Mr. Cut Knife. Okay. Nah, that one up there. Any more knives? I don't see any more knives. Oh, the heart knife. Yeah, sure. That's literally a reskin of a knife, but longer. Okay, so, oh yeah. Get the Dorset out of the way real quick. The Dorset is literally the reskin of the Charlie pistol, or the Sharp pistol. These are the same thing. The Sharp pistol and Dorset are the same thing. Oh yeah, the Sharp reloads a little bit faster. Otherwise, they're the same. They both do 55 damage. They're just kind of there. Maybe... Nah. Yeah, they're just kind of there. They're not amazing. They're like shittier muskets. Maybe I'll put these both up here. So, okay. That done, let's talk about all of our knives. These are the shit knives. They do 20 damage. These knives up here are a little bit better. There's a heart arrow knife I forgot about. Hang on, I gotta put the heart arrow knife in the database. There's a heart arrow knife, chat. Okay. So, sorry. All of these knives do 20 damage. They're kinda useless. Don't ever run them in combat. They're for skinning animals only. These two knives do 25 damage, but they have awkward animations. These two knives have, like, saber animations, but they don't have the saber hitbox. And so you're swinging wildly on the right and the left, and you basically hit nothing, because it's a weird slashing attack that will not hit anything. And they stab also. This one stabs and slashes. As does... This one stabs and slashes too. They both stab and slash. This one, I don't remember how to get this anymore, is a ritual knife. This one is a chest, is a kukri. This one is, I think, tier 4 cooking. It's the cleaver. All of these stab and slash. They're kind of useless. These are the good knives. And the heart one too. These are the good knives, okay? These two are from chests. This is the ancient dagger and the glaive, the short glaive, I should say. This is the superior knife from Tier 3 Hunting, I believe. This is the Aristocrat knife, which is an alpha reward. And this was a Valentine's Day knife, which is actually a hard arrow, which is kind of cute. All 5 of these have better knife animations than these 3. These are all doing 25 damage. You all get roughly 6-ish swings, and they're all very fast. So 6 swings, 6 swings, 6 swings. All of them are 6 swings. Sorry. These all do 25 damage. These all do 25 damage. These all do 20 damage. These all have good animations. These all have bad animations. These all have good animations, but they only do 20 damage, so this shit. If you have to run knives, run these knives up here. Run any of these knives up here. They're not that good in combat. They're okay in combat. Although, yeah, they're about on par with the bayonet in combat, I'd say. Yeah, that's fair. Rapier. S tier. We all love the rapier. S tier as fuck. Only problem with running a rapier is you'll have to insure it, which is the same problem with the Masterwork, to be fair, so that still goes up here. Let's find our rapier. 5 swings, fastest speed, 35 damage. Now, what's cool about a rapier, if you've ever run a rapier, same with like a fire poke, rapiers in the right hands are basically impossible to tell the difference between a right and a left swing. If you move around enough, you'll never ever be able to tell. It's very hard. The only time you can tell is with like an amateur rapier user because they don't hide their swing direction. But rapiers in general are just ridiculous. People complain about unblockable melees. Rapiers are the ultimate unblockable melee. They are through and through a dueling weapon. They have good reach, they are impossible to block, and they do 3-hit kills. If Masterwork is the ultimate weapon for PRs, Rapier is the ultimate weapon for duels. And Dragoon Sword is the ultimate jack of all trades. And then these two are just really good too. So, Rapiers for duels, Masterworks for outside save zone combat, Dragoon Sword if you actually can't insure any of these things. This is the best one if you don't insure anything. If you insure primary, I should say. And then these two are just good. So yeah, we all know and love the Rapier. It's very, very good right now. Scimitar, the other ridiculously OP sword. Scimitars are awesome. 5 swings, as fast as a Rapier, 45 damage. So a Scimitar is kind of like the end goal of a saber. Scimitars have saber animations, but they are so fucking good. Scimitars are amazing. Scimitars are like the be-all, end-all of everything. This is... If you're a saber user, you want to get a scimitar because it has identical animations and a very similar hitbox. Okay, rapiers have their own quirky animations that you have to get used to. Masterworks are like big dragoon swords, and these are like big sabers. The scimitar is the best saber. Okay, it is. Oof. I would say if you put a scimitar up on, if you have a good Masterwork user and a good scimitar user, these two are pretty fairly matched. A good dragoon sword's a little worse than these two, and a good rapier is a little better than these two in a one-on-one environment, if I had to guess. Although Scimitar and Masterwork both hold their own against Rapier very well, because both of these can basically put enough damage on a Rapier to kill it before the Rapier can do its little quirky thing and, like, I don't know, fucking spurg out and kill you with, like, 1,000 tiny cuts. So, these two, very good, very good, very good, also very good. Yeah, if you can get a Scimitar, insure that bitch and use it. It's more of a dueling weapon than an outside safe zone weapon, but it works just as well outside safe zone too. Scimitars are like basically better sabers. In the same way that the rapiers are better fire poke, and dragoon swords are kind of just better spears, basically. Dragoon sword is what you should use instead of a spear if you ever like the spear attack pattern. And then Masterwork is a better axe. So yeah, Masterwork is a better axe. This is a better saber. This is a better fire poke. And then this it's just the sword you replace. This is what you use instead of like a cutlass or something. Yeah. Espingole. Espingole is kind of mid. It shoots. It's weird. How do I explain the Espingole? Espingole, where is it? So, they're not horrible. Espingoles I'm going to put in B tier for one reason. They shoot 6-lead balls, which will fuck up a munition pouch. So, these have the highest damage. No, A tier. They have the highest damage of any blunderbuss in the game. It's their third and final blunder. We covered the actual blunder, we covered the gobbler gun, we covered the Espingole. I guess kind of the Doppler too, but that doesn't really count. So, Espingole. It has 6 shots. It does 240 damage to the body. That is unheard of. This is what you use if you go big guy hunting on Bayable. This is what you use if you want to kill a bear in one shot. This is the bear hunting gun. The problem is it shoots 6-lead balls, which means it's very ammo intensive, and what's worse, it fucking messes up your ammo pouches, because now you're reloading 4-lead balls after you reload 6 lead balls. It's weirdly a good complement to the Thunder gun, the Thunder pistol. This shoots 4 lead balls, this shoots 6 lead balls, and so you can, between the two of them, if you reload both, you empty 1 munition pouch. So food for thought, I guess. But just food for thought, yeah. This is only good for hunting bears. It's like a bow, but better for bears. Bows are kind of shit for bears unless you can get the bear trapped. So, you know, that exists, I guess. Yeah, Espingales otherwise have insane fucking spread, but a decently fast 12.5 second reload, which is the same as like a Jaeger rifle. The baby pistol, Etienne. I don't know why you'd run an Etienne. There. Etiennes come from treasure chests. 7.5 second reload, 50 damage. You'd have to insure it. Again, kind of shit. Tane. The Tane. Wow, Tane. 15 second reload, 82 damage, 98 to the head, unsurvivable headshot. Tane, my beloved, goes in S tier. Goes in S tier. If you want to run a Jazelle, don't run a Tane. They're a little bit more expensive, and there's less of them, but Tanes are better Jazelles. They are less accurate than Jazelles by a little bit. They cannot mount a bayonet like Jazelles can, but who gives a fuck? It's a bayonet, they're shit. Okay. Tanes, 15.25 second reload, 82 damage, 98 to the head, unsurvivable headshot just like Jazelles. Tanes are quite good. Okay. So we have the best blunderbuss, the other best blunderbuss, the Dopplet, Gobblergun, Dopplet, the best of the muskets, and the best high damage single shot rifle. So the best muskets, the Tradesman, the best like quirky gun is a Tane, best pistol, as we know, Prussian cavalry pistol, Holstein, what do you call it? So food for thought, Tane is right now a better Jazelle with a reload that is 7 seconds faster. Still a long reload, but nowhere near as long as a Jazelle. So keep that in mind. Next we have bows! Oh, wow, 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 wow. Look at how easy my job was. Oh, wow. Bows. Let's talk about bows. I hate bows. Bows are like the perfect weapon to get destroyed by muskets in this game. Very funny. Not that dissimilar to real life. These bows are shit. There is no reason to run any of these bows, because you can just half draw a longbow and get the same result out of these bows. These bows do less damage than a longbow. If you want to only half draw a longbow, you literally get the damage of these bows. So it's like, why the fuck would you bother? The longbow can do everything these shorter bows can do. Bows suck. Bows are bad. I would not recommend a bow for combat ever, or for hunting. These don't do enough damage to hunt with. The longbow and the tribal longbow are both pretty solid hunting options, but not much else. These are for hunting because animals don't run as often when you get hit with a bow, like an arrow. And they can recollect ammo afterward. So yeah, you walk up to a deer or something, you shoot it, you walk over to the body, you take the ammo out, you skin it. They're much more efficient for hunting than the guns have ever been. So guns, you'll waste a lot of ammo hunting, bows not so much. They're awesome for hunting. That's why I love bows in general. It's the only thing I love bows for, because if you're in regular combat, you're just kind of fucked. In regular combat, you have to draw. You have to sit there drawing your bow, and that's awful. That's awful. That's awful. It's shit. Because bows at their maximum damage are doing like 60 with metal arrows. Longbow metal arrows is like 60 damage. With fire arrows, it's probably about 60 over time-ish. Delayed. Why? Just get a fucking Charlie. The best bow damage is the worst gun damage. I don't know why you'd ever run it. Just run any other weapon. Because that's the thing. As a bow user, it's maybe got a little bit of a use in like a PR, but just use a crossbow. It does that better. And even crossbows are vulnerable because of the crossbow animations. So never run a bow in combat. I've had this talk a million times. Katana. It's got like 6 fucking swings. Otherwise, it's a saber. It's OP as shit. It was Spartan's fucking favorite weapon until he left the team. He made it, I think, or he programmed it or whatever. He set the stats. It just is. Who cares? Khopesh. It's the brand new weapon from Forts. It is a saber reskin, I believe. So it goes there. Training sword. It's adorable, don't use it in combat. It's very cool for training though. Mace. It's just an axe that's a little bit shorter and has a little bit faster animations. Heart bow. It's a bow. It's actually the normal bow. It's the hunting bow. It's a reskin of the hunting bow. So heart bow goes in there. It is bleh. Bleh, bleh, bleh. true. Tane is the tradesman that goes to the gym every day. Unironically, that is what the Tane is. Tanes are great. Somehow they're muskets. I don't really know how that works, but sure. What else we got? The fork. I'm so sorry. The fork goes here. Because it's literally just one of the stupid knives. Oh! The Whitlaw! Or the Whitworth. The Whit something. Whitworth. The Whitworth! The Whitworth rifle. This is my personal darling rifle. I'll admit it's not very good, but I like it a lot. This weapon, if you've ever fired it, it feels like firing an RCL gun, okay? These weapons are crazy. It is not meta at all, but it is cool as shit. The Whitworth is a new treasure gun, and the way it works is it can mount a scope and a bayonet. Now, there's no reason to mount a scope and a bayonet at the same time, but you can. It's very strange they can do this because it's literally a long-range gun. It's like mounting a bayonet to a reed. You just never do that. There's no reason to. It also makes it really inaccurate, but the Whitworth is the most accurate. Well, okay. The reed is technically a little more accurate, but the Whitworth has no bullet drop relative to the reed. The Whitworth has the flattest projectile trail in-game, and so I glaze the Whitworth like crazy. And it's got a very fast muzzle velocity, and so it feels like firing an RCL gun if you're from any clan community. It feels like an RCL gun. They're awesome. I love the Whitworth for that reason alone. It's not really S tier, because it's only doing 75 damage, which is 90 to the head. But it does mount a scope and a bayonet, if you care about that. So I think we'll put it in with the rest of the other muskets. It's up there with the reed. The reed is a little bit more accurate than the Whitworth, although when you have a scope it doesn't matter. But the reed is a little bit more accurate than the Whitworth, but the Whitworth shoots very straight, very far, very fast. The Whitworth is like the sniper rifle in this game, whereas the reed is like the slightly worse sniper rifle. You know, the Whitworth is so good for long-range marksman stuff. It's the only real, like, assassination gun in this game, okay? Lee Harvey Oswald will use a Whitworth. Because, yeah, the Jazelle isn't accurate anymore. The Tane isn't accurate anymore. Not like they used to be. It's kind of just the only accurate gun is probably the Whitworth. Because the reed, again, technically more accurate. But if you put a scope on, they're all the same accuracy. And they're all perfect accuracy. And so there's really no reason not to just put a scope on a Whitworth. Because that's what you use it with. But if you want a gun that has an absurdly fast muzzle velocity and an absurdly straight bullet drop. You know, it's a very straight bullet. The projectile is beautiful. I love it. I love watching these things fire. If you want that, that's what you get a Whitworth for. They will not one-tap headshot like a Jazelle or a Tane, but just keep in mind the Whitworth is very close to it because it's doing it's doing 90 damage to the head, which is quite nice. So, food for thought. That is our Whitworth. What else we got next? We have the reskin crossbow. It is exactly the same as the regular crossbow. These two are literally identical. The reskin is a little better looking crossbow from the Halloween event. I'm a little bit salty because currently Bellum Imperii, now renamed to Imperium, has fixed crossbow animations. They look better, you know, and they've got proper drawstrings and everything. So I hope Northwind gets the Bellum Imperii crossbow animations, because they look better in that game. You can also sprint while using a crossbow in Bellum Imperii, which is quite cool. So, food for thought. Pocket pistol. Bop! Actually, let's check those stats real quick. Just to check the pocket pistol real quick. 6.75 second reload, 40 damage. Yeah, F tier. I don't know why you'd run it. Sledgehammer. This one's kind of cute, actually. I kind of like the sledgehammer. It's just another axe, but it has knockback, so it goes in the axe category. Sorry, axes. You've got a new contender. Fire poke. I don't hate fire poke, actually. It's kind of interesting. Where is it? So, 5.75 swings, fastest speed, 20 damage. So, this is kind of what old Tomahawk was, kind of what old Rapier was. You get death by 1,000 cuts syndrome from this thing. It has the advantage of being very unpredictable, but it has the disadvantage of killing you in 4 hits, which is horrible. So I'd still put it here, I think. And then we've got the Bonnie pistol. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, the Fire Poke is a Christmas-exclusive Santa kit version of the Rapier. It has the same animations as the Rapier, but it's kind of like a Rapier that doesn't do damage. It's got nice animations, though. It does get almost 6 swings, and it's very fast, so I'd probably put C tier, I think. maybe a little better. Yeah, maybe B tier, because it does still have rapier animations, which makes it very solid. Yeah, I put it there. Bony pistol, 8-second reload, 45 damage. No, it's just shit. If your pistol's not doing 50, who gives a fuck? Yeah, because you're never insuring a bony pistol or a pocket pistol. The Baker rifle. This one's weird. This is a Thanksgiving gun. I don't know what it's supposed to do. It's just a Jaeger reskin. So wherever my Jaeger rifle is, the Baker rifle sits right next to it. It's hard to get, but otherwise it's identical. Ferguson rifle, we don't know what it is. That goes in this tier. This is the tier, we don't know what the fuck it is. Okay, Ferguson goes next to this shiny bullshit gun. Don't know what these are. They're gonna go down there. But overall, this is what I would say is my tier list. I'm pretty comfortable with this. We've got up top here, Gobbler gun. This is the best blunder in the game. It is a exclusive, I believe, from the Thanksgiving event. Sorry. Next to it, we have the Doppler, which is your accurate blunderbuss equivalent, does 90 damage, will kill with a headshot. Next up, you have the beautiful Tradesman musket, which is the most accurate musket. It's a musket rifle, but it can't mount a bayonet. Oh, sorry, it can't mount a scope, it can only mount a bayonet. So that's this beauty. 70 damage, very solid. This is the best musket in the game. Tanegashima, it is wonderful. The Tane is wonderful. It is like a better Jazelle, less common than Jazelle, but very good. Prussian Cavalry, it's the best pistol in the game. You should be running it. It's not the best pistol in the game. It's the best mass-producible pistol in the game. Masterwork, it is the best axe in the game. Scimitar, it's the best saber in the game. Rapier, it's the best dueling weapon in the game, next to Scimitar. Dragoon Sword, it's the most easily replaceable best weapon in the game. Fauci and a backsword, other really solid dueling weapons. The bullshit OP Spartan N85 Katana. There's 2 of them in existence. If you ever got one, they're very good. Do like, you know, they're crazy. They get like 6 swings and shit. A duck for pistols, very high damage. A thunder pistol, very high damage. All these very high damage. Hard to aim. You'd only really run these on Bayable. Great Axe, 95 damage. Very solid weapon. Dragoon reskin with less stamina. Just the saber. Kopesh, saber reskin. Very solid melee, but have tomahawk reach problems. Just a fucking regular ass musket, I think. What is this? Is this a Whitworth? Whitworth, most accurate gun in the game when you put a scope on it, because it's got no bullet drop. Reed is the actual most accurate gun in the game, but it has bullet drop problems compared to the Whitworth. These two, you know and love them. The crossbow, pretty solid in combat, not so good at 1v1s, but very good in group settings. Blunderbuss, you know you love it. Everyone knows what the blunderbuss is for. Close quarters. Our cloak and our brown bess, as you know. Springfield, which is a better cloak and a brown bess. And then Jaeger rifle, which is probably the best musket if you don't have a... Sorry, Jaeger rifle's probably the best rifle if you don't have a Whitworth or a Reed. Baker rifle, which is a reskin of the Jaeger rifle. Jazelle, very high damage long range gun that can mount a bayonet for some reason. Takes 1 billion years to reload. Espengole, the bear hunting gun. Throwing knife and kunai knife, which I forgot to talk about earlier. They are just good. These are little backup shots that you just throw. They're kind of hard to aim, but pretty solid. I don't want to go through everything else, but that's my reasoning for the top ones. And yeah, this is what I would recommend when it comes down to it. These are my faves, very much so. This is how I'd set up my tier list, I think. But yeah, that's all we've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Some of these weapons I really hate thinking about it, but this should be a fun little video. And this is how I'd rank all the weapons if I had to rank them right now. Yeah, there'll be more content coming soon. Thank you all for watching the stream. Hope it was at least somewhat entertaining. Our first stream for once. We'll probably do a couple more in the future. We'll see. Maybe a dueling stream. Maybe a treasure chest stream. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But goodbye for now. It's been fun.